sun shines for LAFC, and the black and gold get a win because of it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to LAFC Plus. It's episode 69, if you can believe that. He is Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm. We are part of the radio broadcast team on the English-speaking side for LAFC. Mario, always a pleasure, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. I mean, I just love watching Son do his thing in MLS, and I just got to say, like, for all those soccer fans that claim that they know soccer, but yet they don't want to support MLS here in their own country. They don't want to support their own league in their own country. We have two global icons, two of the biggest stars, biggest brands in the world of football. We have Messi, we have Sonny here in MLS. Huge guys that can make an impact in any league. They're here in MLS, and still people do not get it. They don't want to support it. I just got to say, enough of that for those people. Just had to get that off my chest. Just had Thomas Mueller join Vancouver Whitecaps as well. And then we have guys like Denis Bouanga here. We have Evander here. Some really, really top players in North America. And I just had to get that off my chest because it's been on my mind for a while lately.
I just love how everything gets forgotten so quick. Do we not remember the Club World Cup just, barely a month ago? A little bit more than that, a couple of months. The MLS teams played pretty well. It's not like there's such a huge gap. LAFC lost to the eventual champion who beat Paris Saint-Germain worse than they beat us, kind of thing. I understand that's the transitive property doesn't always work like that. I get it. Chelsea certainly deserved to beat us. There is no doubt they were the better team on that day, but it wasn't like some blowout worst game you've ever seen by any means. Seattle had the brutal schedule, right? The terribly tough group.
Yeah, they did.
Group turned out to be pretty darn tough too. And, Inter Miami got through beating Porto and, come on, grow up, bottom line. You don't want to anymore though, Mario. I don't even try to we got so many new people flocking to the league that are, excited about it and everything. That's great.
That's true.
I don't even worry about the people who here in the United States don't want to deal with it because whatever, if you ever want to, fine. You're more than welcome, but I'm not even going to hate on you. It's not even worth it. You're not even worth my time. So it's gotten to that point. I used to be like that though. I used to be so defensive and somewhat I still am it just to call out a little bit of hypocrisy every now and then. Because it's good that you brought this up, actually, not just because of Son and the signing of Son Heung-min, but there was recent news, and we'll get to it right now. Paxton Aronson, a young player who left out, MLS, came up through the Philly organization with his brother, a couple of years older. A lot of high hopes for the U.S. maybe men's national team for Paxton. Still a young kid. Goes over to a German club, gets loaned out to a team in the Netherlands, has a great year last year. Well, now Colorado Rapids a little flush with money, and the reports are that maybe they're going after him. Those are stories floating around on reputable sources because of that Georgi Mihailovic money that they picked up, right? So maybe they're going to, and all these, world football fans who love the U.S. men's national team, but only somehow love Chelsea or whatever. They're like, oh, he can't come back.
Come on.
So you argue that MLS needs to go get better players, and you're always beefing how the league needs to get better and better players. So when someone appears to want to come back, that could be a very good player, although still young, that's no good either. You can't have it both ways, fellas. Come on. Yeah. The hypocrisy just knows no bounds, and I like to call that out. So I appreciate you bringing that up. More importantly,
I just had to celebrating. Get off my chest.
Yeah, I love that. We're celebrating Son Heung-min and LAFC in his first 90 minutes. And LAFC got an awful lot. If we're going to look back at that game against New England, of course, a 2-0 victory. They got an awful lot of from him in his first 90 minutes. And the reason we want to look back and talk about it, because it's stuff that I believe is going to get better and better going forward, certainly.
Yeah.
And that's just, him getting more comfortable. Mario, I'll start it. I thought he pressed well, and he really helped cause a lot of issues with that New England Revolution back line and them building out of the back. They didn't have a whole lot going forward.
Yeah, I really like how he presses up top too, because I don't think LAFC had a player that knows how to press the way he does. And to do that, to press in a good way, a positive way, a way that benefits your team, you have to know how to do it properly. He knows the right angle. He knows when to do it, when not to do it. He knows how to push a team, push the ball to a certain side that he wants it to go to. So he's doing it in a great way. I love seeing him do that work, because it really is a lot of work. And when you have a star player like that willing to come in and do the work like that, that's a good thing.
Another thing I noticed as the game went on, he really started to combine well with his teammates, and not only through the midfield, but as you got closer to the 18, and it started to kind of look like Denis Bouanga and him were really started to develop a little something. Now, it didn't quite come off a few times, and Denis got one great shot off, and frankly, if he buries that, the internet explodes with Son and him combining like that, because it was kind of a little quick one touches, at the top of the 18, trying to break down.
Yeah, I remember that play.
That
was awesome.
Bunkered in New England defense.
Tight space.
Right? Yeah, in a tight space, exactly. And it almost came out. I mean, they got the shot away. Denis just put it up high. He's more than capable and has done that a million times where he buried that shot. So if he would have, scored on that, you'd be talking like goal of the week, like, oh my goodness, one of the best goals you'll see. The whole world would have blown up. So the play is there, right? They're starting to combine a lot. I like that. And I really just felt like he kind of he doesn't drag his teammates into the match. He's really fitting in quickly, and kind of starting to combine, which we all know takes time. Doesn't matter who you are. It could be, Messi and Suarez practically are going to need a few minutes, in a new situation to get together with their teammates and all that. So even teammates who have played together for a while, sometimes a new season, whatever, takes a while. Well, Son is starting a new season, but he's with a whole new club. I love what I'm seeing in these early minutes, Mario.
Yeah, I think everyone on the team benefits like right away from having a guy like Sonny on the pitch, because I noticed that he stretches out the defenses right away. He stretches them out. He attracts a lot of attention from the opposing teams, from the defenders. Therefore, it creates a lot of space for his teammates, which is a good thing, right? It's no fluke that the two midfielders in the last game, they got a good look at goal and they put it on the frame and it went in. So that's all, the Sonny effect, just making everybody that much better. But I think since he arrived, Dave, I think he just sets the bar at a whole nother level than what it was before. In training, in the matches, you see his will to win, you see his effort out there, and it just feeds. Everybody just feeds off of that. You don't have any choice but to also get on that level. And it's just a new energy, because I think the team was definitely tired, has been through some battles. It's been a long year full of tournaments, and this is just like a breath of fresh air, whole new energy that came at the right time for LAFC. So it's just all around, it just makes total sense for Sonny to come in and just help out this team at a very important time of the season as we get ready to make this run towards the playoffs.
Yeah, and we make no bones about it. We love LAFC here on LAFC Plus, but we also have to keep it real. When you're, when you kind of bring in the record transfer by all, reporting out there, and regardless of what the number is, when you bring in a record, it has to work in MLS, right? This is not a league where you can go throw around that kind of money and then it's, well, whatever, didn't quite work out, we'll just buy another $100 million player. That's just not how the league works. That's just not the financials. That's not the salary cap. It has to work. We're seeing in Atlanta, maybe not so great on some of those big spends, right? It isn't working, and now look where they're at. So
it's not automatic. It's so
yeah,
true.
No, exactly. That's my point. And we see that certainly Son is more than capable. Like it's going to work. I mean, you can just see it with your own eyes. Like even in 120 minutes, or not even yet 119 minutes that he's played, technically, you can see it. It's there. We all knew it, or we thought we knew it. Now we are just seeing it flat out. And I want to end it in terms of on the pitch, Mario, with that assist, right? And how much bigger it was than just the win. We'll get to that. We're going to play the audio from it. This is courtesy of 710 ESPN and LAFC. And this is the Matthew Choinière goal that wrapped it up on virtually the final kick of the match from Son's assist.
Choinière making a run, Son to Choinière. The shot and in! LAFC on the final kick of the match have won it 2-0. Jump for LA Football Club. Ole! Ole!
What a way to end that match. It was such an exciting way to end it, and to give Sonny that assist, his first assist. I mean, the goals are going to come. We know that. So we're all waiting for that. But to get his first assist out of the way was awesome. And he was just so happy for both of the guys, both of the guys for Delgado and for Schwanier when they scored. He was it was almost like he scored, you know? So that's cool to see.
He went nuts. Yeah. And in the best way possible. He was celebrating like it was, you know, a match that clinched something, you know, or like won a playoff game or something. He was really pumped up. And I think that's just because, you know, let's face it, they're human beings. He's feeling pressure. No matter what anyone wants to say, like, oh, he's coming from the Premier League only to, you know, to MLS or what. He's feeling pressure. Again, record transfer for the league. Sorry, I know it's not like $150 million like these craziness is going on in the world of football, but it's a record transfer. So you have to perform, and he knows that, and he's feeling the pressure because he wants to win. He wants to play perfect football, essentially. And you could see it. You could see it in the celebration. That's more so than just, you know, winning the game and him playing well. Yes, it's this selflessness, you know, to lay that on. He could have easily taken that shot. LAFC probably would have hung on, even if he misses, right? They're probably going to get the 1-0 win. It's the last seconds, literally. He could have taken that shot. Nobody would even, I mean, Schwanier wouldn't even have batted an eye, even though he's making the run and he's open, whatever. Yeah. But he doesn't. Right, and he
in the prior game, he could have taken the PK because Denis asked him. Denis asked him, "Do you want it?" He asked him 3 times, and Sonny said, "No, you take it." So that's just more selflessness right there from Sonny, which is so cool.
So by all accounts, it's a couple of assists for Son Heung-min so far. We got one officially, but really the PK was all set up by his run and Ordaz's pass, as we talked about last week. And you know, look, here's a couple of things else that are interesting to me. Certainly it was a great team win. And Son would be the first one to tell you that. It was a tough game. It wasn't a blowout by any means. I mean, 2-0 doesn't really flatter LAFC, but it kind of is like too harsh on New England, if that makes sense. Like LAFC deserved it, but it was a little harsh on New England in the end. You know, like that wasn't a 2-0 game maybe. It was a 1-0 game that LAFC just put away like a good team will. And they started to counterattack New England in the final 10 minutes, which will be another thing that Son can really be. If LAFC can get leads and score look out. I mean, you know, he's going to just lead that charge on counterattack. Last 10, 15 minutes, Mario, it was like gates opening and LAFC had chances. But here's my point. LAFC did not win just because of Son or Denis or, you know, obviously Schwanier finishing off a shot or Nathan Orda. No, they won because of Hugo Lloris in a large part. Because if he doesn't make that save late in that game and a couple other really big saves, I'm talking 88th minute, probably a 1-1 final, let's be honest. Because if New England gets a goal in the 88th minute, they're probably parking that bus even harder than they had been just to make sure they don't give up a late one. And it probably would have ended 1-1, realistically. And Lloris made a great save. Not a good save, like world-class save. And you have to call that out. You know, he's really playing well, Mario. Let's remember, the 2 games he didn't play, LAFC happened to lose those. So if you go and take a look at their record, and you're looking at the standings someday, for, you know, you're checking out MLSsoccer.com or whatever, remember that minus the 2 losses from Hugo Lloris's record this year, it's pretty darn good in net. So,
there's no doubt about it. Hugo Lloris just, I mean, he impacts the game in so many ways, not just his saves, but just his leadership and outlets, you know, to Denis, you know, quickly, you know, to the guys getting into the offense and just being a leader in the locker room and on the pitch, kind of like a coach, a coach that's on the field. So just Hugo Lloris has just been amazing ever since he's got here to LAFC. And who knows? I mean, he can do it for years to come too. So that's another good thing with Hugo Lloris. I mean, he's not missing a beat at all. No, I mean, he's still doing his thing at that top
How does
level
Hugo Lloris go under the radar too? Like, he never gets talked about anymore. Like around the league, everybody, all these pundits, national people. It's just like,
he's such a humble guy. Yeah, he's such a humble guy. He doesn't like all that attention, but we all know, the ones that watch him each and every game, we know how valuable he is, of course.
And full-throated shout-outs to the defense, too, and the midfield, everybody. I mean, the shutout is not just about the keeper, of course. And realistically, New England, they had a couple decent chances, and Lloris had to make, again, a couple of really big saves, but it wasn't like New England was just peppering the defense, right? I mean, LAFC's defense, for all the injuries, right, and all the kind of somewhat uncertainty, not because they don't have the depth, but how are you going to, when these injuries happen, how are we going to, go about this? Who's going to, that's in uncertainty, right? It could fall apart. That's just what injuries do to some teams if you're not a good team. It doesn't, because guys just step right up, and then we're talking about Coach R.I. didn't miss a beat when Aaron Long goes down. Eddie Segura coming off 2 horrific injuries over the years, and yet he's back to where you even think that any of that ever occurred. Sergi Palencia is just the best right back in MLS, just time and time again. And by the way, we got some depth now with Artem Smolyakov.
Yes, Smolyakov. I was going to say, yes, you guys got guys like Smolyakov on the bench. He could start on any team in MLS. And what he does defensively and when he gets into the attack, the passing, his left foot is a rocket. So it's so good to see Smolyakov get some minutes. And anytime he comes in, whether he starts or he comes in off of the bench later on in the game when he comes on, it's always an exciting thing to see. That little secret weapon is kind of like what I call him right now, because not too many people know about Smolyakov as far as the opponents.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
He can catch people off guard,
Oh, absolutely. When he makes that run late in that game and puts that ball on Son's head, I think Son thought he scored.
Yes,
that was
exactly.
Unbelievable save by Matt Turner going away.
Oh,
He's falling away and gets his arm back across and hits, makes the save. Certainly Son was going against Turner's momentum, knowing he's going to score, not thinking he was going to score, knowing that's going in, and yet somehow Matt Turner still made the save. So full credit to him. But that was a Smolyakov dime right on the money. And just destroying the defense with that kind of cross. Like, there's nothing a defense can do when a guy like Son is making that run, because he's so smart, knows exactly where to go. And Smolyakov at 22 years old knows exactly where to put it. And what I like about it, Mario, we talk about this with young players a lot, when they're not getting 90 minutes every game, right? When they're not, it's easy to kind of try too hard, if you will, and maybe their game slips a bit because they're actually trying to do too much mentally, physically.
Yeah, it's so difficult. It's difficult to sit on the bench. It's difficult to sit on the bench knowing that you can go out there, but then it's also difficult whenever you do get out there to get into the rhythm of the game. It's very
well. You want to play 90
hard.
minutes in 30 minutes. I know that sounds weird. You're trying to do everything you can, like in a 90-minute match, in 22 minutes or whatever. And so that's where I'm talking about, like all the pressing, and like they start to get, wonder, like, am I doing enough, or am I going to get any more minutes? Then you start to play badly. Smolyakov is just smooth, man. He's just ice cold. Like, whenever he gets in,
you got to be a pro too. You got to be a pro too, because you got to know what your team needs at that moment, right? Are you coming in to defend? Are you coming in to bring a goal back? What are you trying to do here? So that's also, you're watching the game while you're on the bench and just reading the rhythm of the game, reading the opponents, who's on the field, who's not. So it's very tough to do. So all the props to Smolyakov. We love watching you do your thing.
Extremely underrated signing over the the last year plus, and just
now Dave, I want to talk about Sonny. One more thing, I got a question for you actually, because I know it's only been 2 matches with Sonny here with LAFC, but I had a question. I wanted to know, like, what do you want to still see from Sonny here at LAFC, even though it's only been 2 matches? But what are we still waiting to see from Sonny? It could be anything.
I mean, it's if we're nitpicking. He's had a couple of maybe half chances that he didn't put on frame. So you're waiting to see that first goal to kind of break open the floodgates. They're there, like, of course. I mean, he's missed a couple of little and half chance. I call them half chances because most of the time, frankly, they've been through traffic he's trying to pick spot, where he knows there's 5 defenders in front of him, and he's got to. And, he made a great play against New England where he took a ball out of the air instead of shooting it from about 21 right out of the air, which, of course, the defender was expecting. He just touched it around the charging defender. It was like a set piece, and it finds Sonny out at the top of the area. And, of course, the defender's at full speed trying to get there, so he's going to go right by you if you just, move the ball, which, of course, Son does, puts it on his left foot. Drags the shot a little wide, but he knew he had to get it through traffic. So you can even see the smart play. But it's just a matter of like, okay, he's going to have to finish those eventually, and he will. I mean, you just got to keep working on combining it with your teammates, learning them. But that just takes time. It has nothing to do with his level of play or, if he's going to adapt. No, I mean, he knows what he needs to do already with this team. It's just a matter of going
that
out
is
and
true.
continuing to do it. And
it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time because you don't want that. You don't want it to linger, right? Where you have a guy
you want to get the goal out of the way for the
get it out of the way and start racking them in.
Yeah, and of course, he could have 3 or 4 in one match, and nobody's going to blink an eye either. That could always happen too. But also, I like talking about that in terms of what else we're going to see from him. I think what you're going to start to probably see is more so him kind of like now that teams are starting to see him up close. Yeah, we're not going to play the same teams. We're not going to play New England. We may never play New England again while Son's here.
True that,
yeah. So that's not, but it's other teams are getting a look at him with LAFC. I can't wait to see how he adapts, to what teams throw at him, because clearly he's at a different level. So he will adapt, but it's going to be fun to see him like one step ahead of what the defenses start to throw him, and I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, it really is. He's that good. And, we see it with Messi and all like, of course, you try something different. He's already 3 steps ahead of you. It's like, that's just how the great players are. So they're still going to beat you no matter what. And so, look, here's the bottom line. LAFC, you can never have enough talent, because we know how deep we are, even before Son signed, and Ryan Porteous is working his way, starting to, all these signings are great. You can never have enough talent though. So it's just come on in, and like we're just better because
I think with all these exciting things that are happening with Sonny, and I'm still just waiting for one thing that's going to be, I think it's going to really put LAFC over the top, is just that connection with Sonny and Denis. I think we saw a little bit of it, and it's going to take a little bit of time. They haven't really trained that much together, but when that does happen, when Sonny and Denis get to combining and doing their thing, I mean, watch out. It can really put LAFC over the top, I think. So that's going to be something to really, really look forward to when that starts happening.
Yeah, it seems like we're already seeing a connection on and off the pitch.
Off the field, off the pitch, they look like best buds. They look like they've known each other forever. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's perfect. No surprise if you know either gentleman personally, no surprise there. So they just seem to be getting along. That's great. I totally agree. Yeah. So we'll see more of that, no doubt. We hope to see it coming up, Mario, on Saturday. Another game as the schedule just churns along as LAFC now with 10 MLS regular season matches to go. Currently 5th, again, with games in hand on everybody in front of them, though. And sitting on 40 points after that big win over New England 2-0. It's another road game. And Mario, as I studied for this game, and I'm still in the process, to be honest, for my broadcast, it's very similar to the New England game, in my opinion. Like just the setup, the team you're playing, not necessarily how they play in terms of, but it's a team that's in flux. They're not terrible, but they're not playing well. Obviously, the Lucho Acosta stuff is different than what New England's going through. Lucho transfers out after they brought him into the offseason thinking he'd be like this big signing. And in fairness, everybody thought it would work. He's Lucho Acosta, right? He's been playing great in MLS for a long time. Didn't quite work out. He's off to Brazil, Fluminense. And so now it's been such an odd season for them. They're a team that struggles at home, much like New England does, honestly, which is weird in MLS. We know that. Like they're bad at home in Dallas. They're good on the road. They're like really bad. Now LAFC handled them at BMO just like about a month ago. So it was really a kind of a blowout 2-0, to be perfect. Much worse than the 2-0 in New England. Like from Dallas's perspective, like they got drubbed. They got outshot 10-1 in shots on goal. That's how bad LAFC was dominating in that game. But still, 2-0 was the final. I just think it's a game again, Mario, where you have to win. I don't care if it's on the road.
So true. So true. The points are there to be taken for LAFC again, like they were last week. You're so correct on that one. And I remember the last time that LAFC played against FC Dallas at BMO Stadium when Nathan Ordaz had that sweet half turn, right? Yeah, that sweet half turn from Denis on the pass. And then Ordaz just hit it with the right foot, back of the net. But that was a pass from Denis, and then Denis had a goal as well in that game. So watch out for Denis in this match. I feel like we say that every single game. Watch out for Denis on the assists. Watch out for Denis on the goals. But yeah, I think It's another road game for Sonny to start off his era here with LAFC, and he's quickly adapting to the travel and the climate because it's gonna be like mid 90s or low 90s in Frisco, Texas at Toyota Stadium. So they do have a little bit of a home field advantage there, if you want to call it, just because of that Texas heat. And actually, they do have a pretty good record against LAFC when they do play in Frisco.
Normally. That's fair. That's true. This
they've
year
won
it's been
4 games with 1 draw and 1 loss against LAFC.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Something to hold on to for the FC Dallas fans that are thinking, do we have a chance against LAFC in this one?
Oh, yeah. No, look, it's MLS, right? This is not the Premier League where Man City is going to go on the road even and destroy 95% of the teams. Like, you got to go work and earn it in MLS. And Peter Moose is a player for FC Dallas. I mean, that guy could change a game by himself.
He's leading the offense for sure,
Yeah. Now, defense that is suspect. They're not the stingiest this season. I think Martin Paz.
They have some good players. They have Ibiaga, Abubakar, Farfan. They have some good players
got
back
transferred,
there.
right? Isn't he off the Tigres, Marco Farfan? I think that deal.
Is
our
he?
old buddy.
Oh,
yeah. I think that isn't that deal done, or maybe I'm just hearing reports or whatever. I kind of lost track of that story. I thought there were rumors of that going to Tigres, going to Liga MX. My apologies. I should have followed up with it. But your point is still valid. Like, good players, but they're not having a great year, let's say, overall. So yes, they could certainly come up and bite us, especially, going on the road. What I like about it is we're not in the schedule where it's Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, LAFC. Yes, it's been a road trip, 3 straight, but you're coming back home. You've got a whole week kind of thing, so it's like they're rested. LAFC,
you're going to get the best LAFC coming at you.
Yeah, I mean, even the heat, you're still in a little bit of rhythm, even though it's road games. You know what you're doing in terms of how you're preparing each week and all that. So I think that's a good thing in terms of.
And I think I mentioned this last week. These road games are actually good for LAFC when you're bringing in a star player like Sonny, especially a star on his level. To be on the road with the team and just have no choice but to be together is really gonna bring this team together. They're really gonna gel and bring and get that bond, right? So this is the 3rd straight game on the road for LAFC and Sonny before they come back on the 31st against San Diego FC.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it is a good point, and he'll feel like he's probably not, can't wait to go play at BMO. He's going to be jazzed about it. So because he has been on the road for 3 weeks.
I think we all miss being at BMO, right? Like, we haven't been there. It feels like months. It feels like, because it's been this long road trip, and now coming back home, and Sonny's going to make his debut at home. That's going to be an exciting night. I don't want to look too far ahead, but I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's funny. You're right, though, because just the way other competitions get thrown in, of course, with LAFC being so busy the last few years, I don't remember, it seems like we've been gone for 3 weeks from BMO. It just doesn't seem to happen, because even if we do have a schedule that's a little weird, you'll throw a U.S. Open Cup game in there.
Right.
Or
Like that's happened plenty of times.
Champions Cup game early in the season, or something's going on. The League's Cup, you're at home it feels like there have been times when it felt like LAFC were playing like 70% of their games at home, which obviously is not the case, but it just sometimes feels like that. And it doesn't. We don't usually have these 3-game road trips. So it doesn't seem like that, or at least maybe I'm just completely wrong about that. Even in my own head, it just feels like we don't have too many of that, over the years. So it's definitely been interesting. But hey, let's get 7 points out of these 3. Just get the 3 in this one.
And you know what, Dave? FC Dallas doesn't really create too many chances. So if they do get a chance, they have to be clinical on that chance or the few chances. And then you have Hugo Lloris to worry about, like we were talking about earlier. So I really do like LAFC's chances on the road to get, the points that they've been getting on the road, 3 last week, 1 before that, and hopefully 3 this one coming up. That'd be pretty good for LAFC to come back home and really start chopping down that gap there towards the top of the Western Conference.
Absolutely, and that gap is pretty big. Let's be honest. Yes,
it is.
There's games in hand.
There's games in hand.
12 points up. 12 points up. 3 games in hand on San Diego, and you're playing against them, which will be huge on August 31st, as Mario already mentioned that match. Massive game, but still 12 points up. They are. San Diego, yeah, it's going to be a great one on August 31st. Around the rest of MLS, this is part of the plus of LAFC Plus. We love to talk about the league. Let's look at the weekend slate, Mario, with a couple of games that we like. I will start with the one I love in the East. 3 versus 4, tied on points, same record. Bigger part, not the same record, same points, but Nashville has the advantage in terms of tiebreaker with more wins. But Nashville hosting Orlando. These two teams have to feel. Now, look, Inter Miami has games in hand, and they're going to probably pass over all these teams, frankly. But these two have to feel like they can still keep climbing in the East and could be real threats in the playoffs. I think this is definitely a playoff preview type matchup.
Yeah, playoff type atmosphere in this one. And I really like Sam Surge for Nashville. He's a really fun player to watch. He can make a huge impact in that one. And then on the Orlando side, Martin Ojeda. The Argentine is always a problem in the midfield for any opponent. So that's going to be a fun matchup right there with that playoff type atmosphere like you're talking about. Two teams that are really strong teams in that Eastern Conference for sure.
Now, of course, we work for the team and, obviously as a broadcaster, but as a fan, and I've followed this league since the first time they kicked the ball back in 1996, I was kind of like, I hope Ojeda keeps kind of struggling with Orlando. And, like the weird fan guy in me was like, maybe he'll become free and available. He's such a good player. Maybe LAFC could go get it, just off the top of my head, kind of just as a geeking out about it because, he was so good. And of course, Orlando knew that too. And they were just letting him figure it out. And he had to, it took a little time maybe to adjust and whatever, but he's just been incredible. I mean, he's MVP type of player. If it wasn't for guys like Lionel Messi, he has just been so good. That's a great shout. I love the shouting out of Sam Surridge and Martin Ojeda. Phenomenal players, phenomenal teams, can really be a threat, I think, in the postseason for both these teams. What's your pick this weekend, Mario?
Talking about MVP type of players, Anders Dreyer for San Diego FC.
Sure.
He is doing his thing. He's been on fire all season long, assisting, scoring goals. Always a joy to watch that guy do his thing. And they're going up against Portland. So I'm starting to believe that this San Diego team could really be a threat in the playoffs, not just how they're doing it here in the regular season. They have not wavered. They have not tapered off at all. It looks like they're going to be a threat in the playoffs too, because they get a lot of goals. They don't concede that very many goals. But this Portland team, they're right in the middle of this Western Conference playoff race, right behind LAFC. So Portland's coming to play. Portland needs points. They're trying to climb up the Western Conference table. I think this is a good matchup. And of course, I want to keep on watching San Diego, see if they can taper off, see if anybody can knock them off for a little bit.
Well, San Diego is definitely a 90-plus minute watch, meaning you can't turn your eyes away from them because that San Jose
they've had some
game,
late goals.
San Jose up 1-0 late. San Jose is looking good. I was starting to think I sports hate San Jose like we all do, the Earthquakes.
Yeah.
But, the sports hate them, which, it's not real hate because it's only sports. But you know what I'm saying? Like San Jose, thanks a lot, Earthquakes. You give up 2 goals in the last few minutes and lose to San Diego at home when you're up in that whole match, not the whole match, but you're up 1-0. You were looking good. You can't even hang on to get the win in that one, for crying out loud. The rest of the Western Conference is not happy with the San Jose Earthquakes for blowing that game. But but that's not the first time San Diego's done that either. You can't turn your head.
Yeah, they've done that.
Yeah.
And what's up with Bombino? A lot of people are talking about Bombino, former LAFC player for San Diego. Yeah. I hear a lot. Every broadcast that I watch of San Diego, they bring up his name, and he's playing well. He's playing well, but I just find it funny that a lot of people are really high on him.
Sure.
But yeah, he was good at LAFC as well, but people are really talking a lot about him.
Yeah, still a very young
Not
player,
just in MLS, over the world as well, overseas
absolutely,
as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good pick, though. I love your pick. I think it's a great match to watch, no doubt about it. Anytime, like we say, anytime you're talking about Portland, too, there could be a 4-3 game that creeps up just like that.
Either way, right?
Either way, it doesn't matter
who
wins in that sense.
They like to concede goals, even though our guy Maxime Crepeau's over there, he's doing well too. Maxime is doing well over there too.
Yeah, well, that D in front of him, they can be leaky at times. Let's say that. LAFC at FC Dallas Saturday afternoon for the radio broadcast. You can hear that coming up. The airtime and for the pregame is 5 p.m. Pacific. That'll be on 710 ESPN in Los Angeles, or worldwide on the ESPN LA app. So go to the App Store, download the ESPN Los Angeles app. There's a button to click. As soon as you do, you can listen to LAFC on the radio again Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific time for the pregame kickoff a little after 5:30. Mario, great stuff as always, brother. Take us out of here. Episode 69 in the books of LAFC Plus.
I'm looking forward to it, Dave. Looking forward to another blockbuster day because, Sonny is blockbuster. You can't turn it off. It's Blockbuster true. Radio, Blockbuster TV. Listen on the app, 710 ESPN LA, on the ESPN LA app. Dave Denholm's on the call. I'm Mario Ruiz. We'll catch you on the next one of LAFC Plus. Peace.